Hello and welcome to the first of a month of spooky pre-flights.
I hope it's spooky.
I'm terrifying.
It's going to be
even more terrifying than normal.
It's the month of October, and that means Halloween is coming. Scary things, pumpkin spice coffee, black cats
scary.
Crossing your path.
I don't care for the pumpkin spice.
It's fine. I'm not like
I don't
look forward to
it. But
I don't look forward to it, but
choose it or
I like a good pumpkin spice muffin.
I like a pumpkin pie. I'm a big pumpkin pie.
I like a pumpkin pie as well.
I feel like pumpkin spice should be limited to its pie form. But
yeah, but maybe you
I'm
don't
not here to ruin everyone else's good time.
Maybe you don't just want pumpkin spice flavor one day in November. You want it, in October.
It's Thanksgiving.
When you're carving
done.
pumpkins. All right. Do you carve a pumpkin every year?
I do, but I don't make them into pies.
Do you do the seeds? Do you roast the seeds?
No, I throw the seeds away.
Oh, my God. Well, anyway, if you want to be wasteful like Gil, you can. But you can also wash those seeds, coat them in some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and then
throw them away because they still taste like shit.
And then bake them because they taste pretty good. Which is shocking that you don't like that because you're a nut-eating motherfucker, man. I see you eat nuts all day long. You love you some
mostly
little handy bite
nuts,
food. Gil likes to eat like little bites of food, so like nuts are perfect for him. He likes to rip, like he'll eat a bagel and rip it apart like a child.
Raccoon, I think.
I guess.
And then I wash myself.
I'm the only person who notices this because I think I've known you longer than your wife.
You're also... normally
about the same amount of time.
Usually if you see
I've certainly
me,
traveled with
in,
you
like,
longer than
an
your
airport. And usually if I'm eating with my wife, we're at a table and there's a fork.
Do you do that at home? Do you just like rip apart your food? Only at work and in the airport?
I don't really do it at work.
I've seen you do it at work. That's a bald-faced lie, ladies and gentlemen. We just caught Gil in a lie.
It's mostly pastries, I would say.
It's definitely
which I don't eat a lot of pastries at home.
I will say it is not limited to pastries, but it is definitely
mostly baked goods.
It is definitely a pastry-based activity that you like to rip apart your bread-based items. It's more bread.
Accurate.
It's more bread.
Yeah.
It's very strange. So anyway,
goods.
I'm going to bring you some of my pumpkin seeds.
Many a croissant, Jason and I, over the years.
I'm going to bring you some of my pumpkin seeds when I roast them.
Okay. I won't throw them back in your face.
I don't think you will. I think you'll find they're delicious. This is a bet I'm making with myself.
Okay.
We'll see if I'm right.
You're assuming that nuts and seeds are the same thing, which they're not.
But you eat seeds, don't you?
Not really.
Oh, all right. Well, guys, we got a little sidetracked talking about Gil's
wraps us up for today.
Eating habits, but look! Speaking of Gil's weird ticks, he's still doing it. Yeah, he's got a lot of them.
Jason's weird tick is pointing out everyone's wrongdoings.
No, just Gil's. Just Gil's, really.
And how you're failing at life.
Gil is more the focus of that energy because...
it doesn't bother me.
You could take it. Yeah, exactly. So what do you care?
Don't know.
Yeah, all right. That's a good question for you to ask, period. What do I care about? Gil has trouble. Gil has trouble answering that question. We've gone way off the reservation. Let's bring it back to today's topic. We're going to talk about the show Witch Hunter Robin, which, of course, will transition into us talking about witch movies and witch stories. It's a big witchy episode. Witches, in our case, yes. Witches are very much associated with Halloween. So Witch Hunter Robin was a show created by Sunrise. It aired in 2002 in Japan. It aired on Adult Swim in 2004 twice. And it kind of was one of those in the dark period, if you will, of Adult Swim action. Just kind of showed up. It was bought by Bandai Visual and brought over here and dubbed. The dub's pretty good.
Yeah.
The show itself it's sort of like...
it's like a Ghost in the Shell...
Witch in the Shell.
Yeah, Witch in the Shell.
It's not
Ghost in the Witch.
Yeah, it's sort of a steampunky Ghost in the Shell, but it's they're hunting. So basically, there's a unit, and they are an independent organization who works in tandem with the police, but they don't tell the police what they do. And so
That's also how I operate.
They're sort of like a government agency, but with no oversight, and you don't quite know their full motivation. But they're an agency that hunts down witches, and in this world. A witch is a person, you're born with a genetic, ability
dormant
called a
gene.
seed. You have what they call a seed. Seed skill. They call a seed that's in you, and
I don't care for them.
and they come out sometimes, and it's sort of like, I think it's analogous to like the X-Men. Like at a certain point, mutant powers sort of manifest, and so normally when the witch's powers manifest, they'll go crazy and hurt people, or at least that's what this organization believes. So they track down. They have this liquid that they keep in vials that negates all the witches' powers, and they track these witches down and capture them and incarcerate them. And they think they're doing it, they're being humane because they're like, whoa, we're not killing them.
Yeah, which is evidently how
we could
outside of Japan how it's handled.
We could just
Japan.
be murdering them. So Witch Hunter Robin is herself a witch, but she is able to control her abilities, and she shows up to work with this government agency. Basically, her feeling is, if I can humanely help them catch these witches, then that will help them not get killed. So she thinks she's conflicted about it, but she's doing good ultimately. And then, of course, as the show goes on longer, she starts wondering what the true purpose of the organization is, and finding out that maybe they have some plans for her. So it ends up with her sort of turning against them. And certain members of her team have to decide if they're with her or against her. It's a pretty serious anime, I would say. It's not like jokety jokes, and the art style definitely reminds me of Ghost in the Shell. Like, it's not quite as beautifully animated as that, but it's a nice looking show and pretty realistic characters in terms of the designs.
It's a little film noir-y monster of the week.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the first half of it's 26 episodes. The first half of the season, the first half of the 26, it's definitely monster of the week thing where it's like hunting down. And then the second half of the season is where they ramp up sort of the overall storyline. And the show ends on a very ambiguous note where you think Witch Hunter Robin and Ammon, her I guess sort of boyfriend, but also partner, die in a fire burning down the building of the headquarters, but there's a little hint that they may have survived and gone into hiding. So let's see. We didn't, but I'm guessing Hamid made 2 Witch Hunter Robin promos before the show premiered, and they feel like...
Weirdly, the one that's called the second promo on YouTube is the launch promo, which I don't understand.
Well, I think with these promos, I feel he really made an attempt to make it feel like a Toonami promo.
Yeah.
You guys watch them and see what you think.
The STNJ is in the business of hunting witches.
Your powers are useless against me.
Meet the team: a telepath, a hacker, a rookie, and a new girl.
What?
A master of witchcraft.
A craft user?
Business is booming.
What gives you the right?
Because you're a witch.
Witch Hunter Robin, coming up next. Something supernatural. Adult Swim.
So let's show the other one. If we can pull it up fast enough.
Not that fast. We're supposed
Sure.
to...
He
supposed to
can.
drag it out.
Dual screens, baby. Get it.
There is a great evil among us. Slinking in the shadows, they are of a deeper darkness than the night. We are their prey. But a new predator has come. Now the hunters will discover what it's like to be the hunted.
So you are the witch.
Could it be you're what they call a hunter? Probably.
Witch Hunter Robin, starting Monday, February 16th at midnight. Let the hunt begin. Adult Swim.
So looking at those promos, Gil and I aren't sure, but the graphics that they're showing on the end page, during that era, Toonami was involved, or our production unit was involved with making promos for some Adult Swim action shows, and the style of those promos really makes me think that Dennis Maloney from our team, it wasn't Gil or I, but that Dennis might have worked on those, because they're different from what Hamid did.
It would be mixed.
It might be mixed better, but maybe not. Maybe they're quick turnarounds. Nobody has a perfect track record. Anyway, I like that our whole thing is like, it's not shitty enough for us. It must be Hamid.
No, I mean, I've
Poor
definitely
Hamid.
made some
The guy
shitty
toiled
stuff.
away for years in silence.
I don't think those spots are shitty. It's just
Different.
The first one we showed is just saying too many things,
Yeah, there's too many words.
which is kind of one of the problems with the show.
But it's also Dennis's
Tell the-
copy.
yeah.
One thing you guys don't know is that Dennis Maloney, who's written some of the promos you guys love, the Outlaw Star promo in particular, and the Blue Sub 6 promo, and the Rurouni Kenshin promo, he sort of overwrites his promos sometimes, and that feels to me, I don't know,
Maybe.
when we're done with the show, we're going to ask Dennis if he wrote Witch Hunter Robin. I bet he did.
It's almost 7 a.m. his time. We can ask him.
Text him
By
right
the
now.
time it's-
Yeah, maybe we'll have the answer by the time I'm done doing my choices. So let's move on to our topic of the day, which is,
And if you want Dennis's number, it is
what's your favorite witch story? So there's a bunch of great witch stories, and I forgot that it was story, not movie, so I picked 3 movies. And then,
I also picked movies.
Then Gil went ahead and picked 3 movies. Wow, our key is looking super shitty on our hair today.
Maybe our hair. Maybe we're just having a bad hair day.
Maybe it's because we're talking about witchcraft.
We're shining.
So I never have found witches that scary. I guess it's because when I
You're a
was
witch hunter.
when I was a kid, witch stories were always like a little spooky, but they were also sort of among the more fun.
There's a lot
Halloween
of good,
creatures. Yeah. There's like witch shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Like there's a lot of witches with like good powers that aren't evil, like Bewitched. I mean, like I would say there's about half of witch lore in popular culture is more positive than negative. So it's like they're not like vampires or werewolves or monsters that are just like, oh yeah, they're evil. So I never really thought of witches as scary, but looking back on some of the witch movies I've seen, when you get it right, it could be really creepy. Because there's something, I mean, obviously witches as a historical thing are basically an invention of paranoid men when women didn't follow the rules.
Right.
Basically, she's a witch, hang her, So I would say the origins of witchery going as far back as like Druidic and Wiccan stuff in Europe are somewhat muddy, and certainly in the U.S. the history of witches is tied back. We all just think of the Salem witch trials, which the Puritan era, and the idea that a witch was somebody that was doing something weird and that they wanted to cast out, and it was very tied up in religious hysteria. Basically, the Salem witch trials were. So I think as Americans, we think, I think of witches from that era. Like I think of, the Crucible, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So my first choice is actually a new movie, but deals with all of that era, and that is the 2016 movie The Witch, which is one of my favorite horror movies this year. It's a divisive movie. It's got a really good Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic ratings, but I know a couple people who really don't like it. I really did like it.
I liked it.
It is sort of slow, but it's basically like it gives you a look at not only just how shitty being a Puritan was back then, but also it's about way more than just a woman, like a witch menacing a family. It's about not only that, but it's kind of an allegory for how women were treated back then, and religious hysteria, and all the things that tie back to the things I already talked about. So, but it's also if you don't want to mess with all that crap, it's just a genuinely scary horror movie. It's just a really slow one, and it's not like "Haboo!" It's more creepy. And I don't know why, but people seem to expect a happy ending from this movie, and
Really?
it does not have a happy ending.
I
So
think I like creepy movies more than the boo scary movies.
yeah, I think I do
I need
too.
to get scared in my own mind. Someone jumping out at me is not really that scary.
My daughter likes jump scares, and she thinks creepy shit is boring. So she's
Yeah.
16.
Sure.
So let's check out the trailer for The Witch.
What went we out into this wilderness to find? Leaving our country, kindred, our fathers' houses. For what? For the kingdom of God. Let us pray.
curse this family.
Who's there?
Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and I'll leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith. For I repentant thou shalt be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and I'll leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee.
There's the evil in the wood.
Yeah, love it. I would say it's worth a watch, and if you're creeped out at all by witches or satanic goats, you will be properly scared. Let's talk about another witch movie that is an Italian film from 1977 from the great Dario Argento, and that is Suspiria. This is a Giallo film, which is an Italian thriller / horror film. Dario Argento is sort of a legend in that genre, and this is probably his best known film. Weirdly, it's still not available on Blu-ray in the US or on video anywhere. I don't know what the rights issue is, but he always uses incredible colors and cinematography, and just his stuff is like super over the top but brilliant. So Suspiria is the story of a young woman who comes to a dance academy in Germany, and slowly as the story unfolds, she starts to discover that it's actually a witch's coven, and that there's an ancient witch who's behind the scenes of the dance academy, who basically kills young women, sacrifices them to stay young. So it's about her trying to get out of that. And it's less about plot and more about incredible photography and really just creepy moments and amazing music. So it's kind of kaleidoscopic. It's not sort of a normal, it's very surrealistic. It's not a normal sort of horror movie, but it's just a great movie. So here is a trailer someone made that's a modern trailer for it, because I wanted you guys to sort of not have to go through the 1977 Italian translated trailer. So check this out.
It's useless to try and explain it to you. You wouldn't understand. It all seems so absurd, so fantastic. All I can do is get away from it as soon as possible.
Madame Blank,
Yes?
Susie Bennion, our new student. Welcome to our academy. The technique of classical ballet assumed a different, more stylized impostation. Welcome to our academy.
Oh, Susie, we're next door neighbors.
More stylized impostation.
I heard someone coming very late. Get into bed next to mine.
Welcome to our academy.
Listen.
Is something wrong?
More stylized impostation.
There they go, right on schedule. The teachers, remember? Can you hear them?
You must.
They're going away.
More stylized impostation.
Is something wrong?
A lot of strange things are happening.
Please, Susie, wake up. Don't fall asleep. Help me.
Hello? Hello, Frank?
Susie, do you know anything about witches?
Coming soon.
It already came. So if you like over-the-top, crazy visuals, I think that's a good witch movie. And then finally, I would be remiss in talking about my favorite witch movies if I didn't talk about, of course, Kiki's Delivery Service,
Hocus Pocus?
who is a good witch. Yeah, Hocus Pocus. That's that old Gil comedy coming in. Kiki's Delivery Service is one we unfortunately didn't get to show on Toonami because it doesn't really have enough action to be on Toonami. But it's one of my favorite Miyazaki films, and it's one my daughter and I have seen together a bunch, actually on the big screen last summer for the first time. And it concerns the story of Kiki, a young girl who's becoming a teenager, and the tradition of young witches is when they become a teen, they leave home to sort of start their life anew. They basically leave early and have to go to a random place and have to figure out how to make it on their own. So she and her cat Gigi, who's a talking cat, go to this, basically looks like a European town on the water, and sort of have to make their way. Miyazaki said when he made this film, he wanted to sort of deal more with the push and pull between being a young person who wants to be on your own and be independent, but still being young enough to need the traditional things you needed as a child. And so it's really about that push and pull in Kiki's life. It's based on a novel that Miyazaki adapted, and originally it was going to be an hour-long special, and he groomed a particular guy at Studio Ghibli to be the director, and then the more he got involved designing it and stuff, he just was like, yeah, now I'm going to take it over. It's not going to be an hour special, it's going to be a movie, and it's going to be my movie. Now, go away. So he just got wrapped up in it, and I'm glad he did, because it's, like I said, one of my favorite films of his. It was first brought over in the U.S. 10 years after it came out in the 90s, and it has a pretty good dub. I think Kirsten Dunst plays Kiki in the dub, a young Kirsten Dunst. So it's worth watching dubbed if you want it to, if you're not anti-dub. So this is the trailer for the dubbed version, so check it out.
It's one of our oldest customs that when a witch turns 13, she has to leave home for a year to begin her training. Be careful.
You be strong, okay?
So tell me if I'm right. I'm guessing you're a witch in training.
I really love it here, but people don't seem to like witches in this town.
Depends on the people. Now take me, for instance. I just met you, and I know I like you.
I really only have one skill, and that's flying. So I thought a delivery service wouldn't be a bad idea.
When you fly, you rely on what's inside of you, don't you?
Uh-huh. We fly with our spirit.
That's another unofficial trailer, by the way, because the official trailer's 6. So those are three of my favorite.
Disney dub.
I mean, it's just too old. So, trailers were different back then, and sometimes they're amusing, but a lot of the times they're just bad.
Yeah. I have an amusing trailer for one of my movies coming up.
Cool.
First for me is the 1987 George Miller movie, Witches of Eastwick, Mad Max edition.
I'm covering Michelle Pfeiffer's face.
And I'm a little unsure.
Here, grab my head, Jack Nicholson.
He doesn't look super creepy there at all.
Looks like he always does.
So the it's just very weird.
Yeah.
I think they extra'd up his eyebrows a little bit. So this is Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer are, unbeknownst to them, actually witches in New England, and they just want a man, and they summon the devil. And then they get some payback, and I think that's what I like the most about this movie is that it's...
They get payback?
Yeah, I like the way that they take on the town and then take on Harry Von Dawn or whatever his name is. Let's check out the very 80s trailer for Witches of Eastwick.
In the quiet town of Eastwick, where nothing ever changes, 3 beautiful women are about to discover powers they never dreamed they had.
Who should we be looking for? He should be really handsome.
Nice eyes.
Now, the man of their dreams is here.
Jane, at last we meet.
To stay for a spell.
Who are you? Just your average, horny little devil.
With the witches of Eastwick.
We could do things you haven't any idea.
You know what's going on up in that house? She says she sees the devil here in Eastwick.
If you were the devil, would you come to Eastwick?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you going to seduce me too?
Women, a mistake? Or did he do it to us on purpose?
Jack Nicholson, Cher, Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer. The Witches of Eastwick.
Hocus pocus.
The Jack Nicholson potentially at his height of scene chewery powers. But yeah, I like that movie as a kid. It made me laugh. And it wasn't a scary witch movie. And I think the reason why I liked it as a kid, and I never know what the name of this movie is, but I watched some witch movie with a babysitter when I was probably 6, and it scared the ever-living shit out of me. And
Pussy.
Never recovered.
No doubt. You've remained so.
Scared?
No.
Second for me is Rosemary's Baby, 1968 Roman Polanski movie that is super weird and creepy, and I don't really like this movie as much as I...
But it's one of my favorites, guys.
I don't like it's not a movie that I'm like, you know what I want to see is Rosemary's Baby.
I don't like it at all. It is considered a classic.
I do like...
And I like Roman Polanski's work, not him as a human. But,
sure. I mean,
but
then we might have to stop having this.
This movie is considered a classic for sure.
Yeah. So, simple general story. Husband and wife move into an apartment building and want to have a baby. And she has a really weird, creepy dream that maybe she isn't a dream and has the spawn of the devil inside her, and the coven of witches is actually all her neighbors. So it's a pretty typical late 60s New York brownstone environment. The trailer for this movie is really horrifying. Feels like it should be, I think, newer than it is. Like, I think if I saw this in 1968, I would never go and see this movie. So let's check out this trailer.
Paramount Pictures presents
Hey, let's make love.
Mia Farrow,
co-starring John Cassavetes.
Let's have a baby. Oh, Ro, honey, for God's sakes, don't cry, all right?
I won't. Wonderful, were you? Young and healthy. I'd have lots of children.
Madame and Monsieur shall have the dessert after all. Mousse au chocolat. Or as many calls it, chocolate mouse.
It's delicious. Has an undertaste. A chalky undertaste.
Hey.
Nice.
Sleep is what you need. Good night's sleep.
You better go down below, miss. This is no dream. This is really happening.
Written for the screen and directed by Roman Polanski, from the best-selling novel by Ira Levin. Ruth Gordon, Sidney Blackmer, Morris Evans, and Ralph Bellamy. In a William Castle production. Rosemary's Baby.
I think I'm going to pray for Rosemary.
Yeah. That movie's
Yeah, I mean, it
creepy
just
and
plays on a
disgusting.
lot of 60s fears of
Yeah.
fitting in and not being, like, the whole movie, she's, like, noticing weird stuff and not wanting to...
Ruffle the
she doesn't want to make her
waves.
husband mad, like,
Yeah,
you know, and tell him that she's uncomfortable with
It's a
his new
super
friends.
gross movie and made by a gross man.
And
but
she's...
it's a good witch movie.
I think all those things play into why it's an unsettling movie, though, in a good way, even though,
Yeah.
you know, it's all not good things.
Right.
I don't know what Mia Farrow thinks of the movie years later.
I don't know.
I haven't read anything about it,
I'm
what
sure.
she thinks about it.
Not good things.
She knows her way around weird, creepy old men. Tell us about your next pick.
Last for me is the 1973 Robin Hardy movie Wicker Man. So let's check out a quick scene from that movie, and then we'll talk about it.
Cool.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
So that's actually
Wait a minute.
Nicolas Cage, I think 2006-ish.
Holy shit. Look at...
Bag of shit. Remake of Wicker Man.
Holy
which
shit,
is
that movie sucks
hilarious
so bad.
to see.
It's so
but
bad.
not in any way good.
I mean,
original,
hilariously bad.
Yeah.
When he
to
ends
the point
up,
where it seems like purposely bad.
It totally,
but it
it's
seems like,
crazy. Like, you watch it and you're like, you see the clips and you're like,
at no point
can't be
does
that
it not
bad.
come across as like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Totally. Like, if any movie that has Nicolas Cage punching a young woman in a bear suit
gets my money. So, do see
and
the
he holds a
remake
gun
Wicker
at one
Man.
woman and holds a gun on a woman at one point and takes her bike.
And he has
Take off your stupid
like her
mask. And
bicycle.
he takes her bicycle and rides away.
And he has all the flashbacks of
Oh, it's so good.
girl getting hit by the car.
Yeah, it's so good.
So yeah, see that movie for its hilarity.
But first-
sake. But second, I would say,
Oh, all
first,
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You're gonna like both of them either way, and for different reasons. But the original Wicker Man is actually a good, creepy witch movie. A youngish Edward Woodward as the Equalizer, like 20 years before that show came on. He is a cop who goes to an island to. He got an anonymous tip that a girl was missing, and so he goes to investigate the murder that or the missing child, and he thinks that she's been murdered. There's like rows of pictures, and mysteriously the one of the missing girl isn't there, but it got broken, and it's like all these things. And he's a very devoutly religious man, and he slowly starts putting together this weird, or meeting this weird pagan society that's run by Christopher Lee. And
then he feels the need to equalize things.
Right. And right before he figures out the actual scenario, they kind of flip the tables on him. But let's check out the not as creepy but still weirdly 70s trailer for the original Wicker Man.
I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood.
I am here to investigate the disappearance of a young girl. Where is Rowan Morrison?
If Rowan Morrison existed, we would know.
I suspect murder.
Sergeant, I've already
In the name of God, woman, what kind of mother are you? That can stand by and see your own child slaughtered.
You are the fool, Mr. Harry.
You're liars. You are despicable little liars. God in heaven, even these people can't be that mad. Where is Rowan Morrison?
If Rowan Morrison existed, we would know.
I suspect murder.
She was burned. You are the fool, Mr. Harry.
Where is Rowan Morrison?
Oh my God!
So very much the 70s sort of spin on the puritanical society.
But a really singular movie, there's really nothing like it.
Yeah, totally.
I think you could make a cool modern remake, but now that those
could
dipshits
have
made that one, that probably won't be one. But
Yeah.
you should watch the original.
So those are our choices.
Let's see yours. Let's go to the Adult Swim Facebook picks for your favorite witch stories. So Kiki's Delivery Service, of course, at the top where it belongs. Hocus Pocus, no, that movie sucks. Little Witch Academia, I thought I might see that one on here. Witch Hunter Robin, of course, and American Horror Story Coven, which is a bag of shit.
Thanks for joining Adult Swim Facebook.
And then let's check out the Toonami Facebook picks. I'm guessing they're going to be more anime heavy. Kiki's Delivery Service, number 1, of course. Witch Hunter Robin, number 2. Little Witch Academia shows up again. Hocus Pocus, what the hell, guys? I guess you grew up at an age where you want to watch Hocus Pocus. And then Puella Magi Madoka Magica, which, of course, I thought would show up as well. So better choices on the Toonami side. Pretty good choices all around. So thank you guys for voting. Don't ever vote for American Horror Story, though. So next up, we have a sneak peek, and I'm going to let Gil introduce this one.
Yay! So this is our game review for...
What game? You did the review.
I did. It's Inside. I was trying to think of the name of the studio. It's the same people who made Limbo. It's Play Dead. Who made Play Dead made Limbo, and they came out on PC and Xbox One 6-ish months ago, maybe not quite that long. And we recently played it on PS4 and enjoyed it. So hopefully you will enjoy our review. Here it is.
Hey, Sarah. This game looks cool. And a little familiar.
It's called Inside, the new game from the people who made Limbo.
Nice.
The game just kind of starts, and you shortly find out that you're being hunted. And you don't have any weapons other than your mind. So you have to puzzle your way through, or you die.
Ooh, that looked painful.
Yeah, you end up dying a lot. And they're always pretty intense.
You weren't kidding.
They do a good job of adding new environments and skills, and there are chapter breaks all over the place. So you usually don't have to backtrack that far when you die.
Run! Eesh.
It's only only about 3 or 4 hours long, and while the story is really good, it's hard to talk about without spoiling it.
Seems great.
It is. Inside for the PS4 gets a 9 out of 10.
Is that thing friendly?
Nope.
Look out!
Well done. I thought it was a very good game, too.
Yeah, I thought it was super fun.
I enjoyed it, and I hope they make more games. I know they take their time and do it right, but I wish they could make a longer game.
Right.
Whenever they're done, I'm always like, but they're genuinely creepy and tense. The next up, we have a topical for the final episode of One Punch Man, or at least this season. In case you guys didn't know, they just announced a new season of One Punch Man is going to be going into production soon. But for now, you got season 1 on Toonami. So this is a sneak peek at the promo for the last episode of season 1 of One Punch Man.
On the season finale of One Punch Man.
Even though my true power has been unleashed on you, somehow, you're still able to keep up.
Yep. You're tough. Cool.
One Punch Man, Saturday at 12:30.
Awesome. And then finally, and for those of you who don't know, somehow One Punch Man will be moving down to the 3 a.m. slot and closing out the block for a full run of the season again. So if you missed it, guess what? The night we run episode 12, you can roll down to 3 a.m. and watch episode 1 and start the whole shebang all over.
I think that
again.
one's actually episode 12 again. And then the next week is episode 1.
All right. Well, that's confusing as hell. But anyway,
if you missed the finale, check the replay.
There's reruns.
Finale.
There's reruns at 3 a.m. of One Punch Man. Okay, and then finally, we're going to talk about this week's Adult Swim single, which is a new song from. Did I skip something? I did skip something, didn't I?
You did.
So
It almost felt intentional.
Gil wanted. I guess Gil wanted to time this so you really got your fill of Inside. So, Gil.
No, it wasn't really that. It was that you were supposed to do a movie pictures.
No, I wasn't.
And when
Nobody
I said,
asked me.
"Hey,"
Nobody asked me.
With the way we have the one man's trash is the same time as the game review, and you're like, "Well, we're not going to change it this time. We'll change it in the future."
I don't believe it.
Now let's check out a one man's trash for Inside, where I find all the secret orbs, particularly the last one.
I don't know.
Have you done it?
Yeah.
Didn't think so.
I mean, it's easy.
Roll it.
Welcome to another One Man's Trash, where I waste everyone's time for all of our enjoyment. Today we're playing Inside from Play Dead, the people who made Limbo, and it's got the same vibe, so if you like that game, you're going to like this one. Since we literally just showed you a review of the game, you kind of know the details, but you should play this game. It's super fun. Today we're looking to get the achievement, The Last One. You get an achievement every time you grab one of these things and power it down. And then, surprise, the last one is the last one of those achievements, but it only opens up when it's the last one. Some of these orbs are hidden, and some of these orbs are really hidden. I got a few of them on my first playthrough, and then decided to go back and smash my head against the wall and get them all. One of them on my first playthrough I got, but it glitched and didn't give me credit for it, and I didn't really know what was going on because it was like the second or third one I found, and I figured I was going down a blind alley, but little did I know there was a real blind alley ahead of us. And luckily enough, I did it again, and it gave me credit. So once you grab the last one, that's the last of the achievements, but there's actually a bonus ending that you can go get, and that kind of goes against what One Man's Trash is all about. So you come down to this bunker, and you just sort of sit here, and that's the end. Because it's not called One Man's Treasure, after all. If you have something fun and dumb for me to do in a video game, hit me up on Twitter @StupidGill, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.
Realistically, how long would you say that it took you to look that up and do that? 2 hours? 3 hours at the most? You did it at work in a day.
I mean, I do
Does
them
that
all
really
at work
count
in a
as
day.
One Man's Trash?
Yeah.
All right.
'Cause-
well, I mean, it's just weird because then you've got some where it's like, it took me about a year, but I collected every single the achievement for not the Yakuza game. I can't even remember the name of the game. the one where you had to get every single little side mission that took you forever.
This just doesn't. You get the little secret ending, but other than that, you get absolutely nothing out of doing it. So that's really the number one criteria: is there a reason to do it? And if the answer is no, then it's usually pushing him.
But the ending was the reason you did it.
No, I didn't know the ending existed.
You just did it. And then found out later. Yeah. Oh, I got a bonus.
Because you go.
So you retroactively, it wasn't quite one man's trash, but it was the point was one man's trash.
I mean, well, that's why I didn't include the ending in the one man's trash, because actually getting something totally goes against the whole point.
I gotcha. Okay, well,
it's like you weren't even paying attention.
I look forward to the next one. I confess I wasn't paying that much attention.
Fair enough.
So let's go on now to Adult Swim singles. We are closing in on the final weeks. And this week's contribution is from the Shrem Life crew, and that is Ray Shremberd and Friends, if you want to figure out what the hell that is, featuring Bobo Sway and Swai Lee. And here is that jam. Check it out.
So, that's Shrem Life shit. We got flavor for every neighbor. I'm like, look what I got. The pimpin' ain't gon' never stop. Promise. We taking this shit to the top. All the way. What you mean?
And as always, you can go download that now at adultswim.com/singles, as well as the other 20-odd weeks worth of great music that we have provided you guys for free. And in the coming weeks, we have some more big names and even some bonus tracks. So keep coming back every Wednesday to adultswim.com/singles and see if there's a song you like. And I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
It's been delightful. We're going to try to get Gil to eat seeds next time.
No.
Maybe he'll one day stop fiddling with things.
Nope. Neither of those
Tune
things.
in later for, more developments.
No.